he has the credibility because he's always like, it's just like getting jacked. Like you can't talk about fitness advice if you're not 260 pounds.
Yeah.
And then once you're jacked, regardless of how you got there, people are like, all right, I'm going to listen to you.
Yeah. It's funny how that works. That kind of plays right into his, is it recording? It plays right into his point of like getting in like.
Yeah, it's a crazy, his whole thesis of like, you have to look good or no one's going to listen and respect you. And now he does.
Yeah. And that definitely makes sense in the fitness space. That's for sure. So have you ever like, said you following the stuff that he's done, like you've seen him. Have you ever been interested in trying any of that shit?
Yeah, bro. You know, I'm getting, next week, I got to visit at the doctor's appointment. I'm getting Aqualix. No. I'm getting, bro. Okay. Aqualix and microneedling. So they go in there and you know what Aqualix is?
No.
It's a fat dissolver. So they inject it right here. So what camera looking at me? You can see like right here, I have like some, and it's not like I have body fat. Like there's some, but like it's like disproportionately extra here and some loose skin. So they go in there, inject it, dissolves the fat in your cheeks. And then the micro needling like tightens the skin. So it's going to make like over a course of 3 weeks, I'll have like a way sharper face. And then I do it all. Like the bone mashing, I actually do.
No,
I love it.
no, you're
bro,
lying.
Brad,
You're lying,
no,
bro.
I'm telling you, bro. It's I feel like I'm having the same. You done already had this conversation with Clav. Like you look at a UFC fighter. Did you talk about that? Like UFC fighters are very handsome because they get bone mashed nonstop hard for life. That's how you build. And if you could strategically bone mash, like only punch where you want tissue, dude, you're gonna look good.
So you've done this.
I did looksmaxxing before, well, not necessarily before Clav, but the first time it got popular was 4 years ago, Jordan Barrett. And it was like the OG, like the ecstasy, like, I just want to be your sweetheart. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe not. Either way.
Nah.
The point is, I loved it way back in the day. And that's why I started taking like the testosterone and all that stuff. Like,
wait, so that started because of the looksmaxxing and not fitness?
Well, it all plays into one thing. I wanted a sharper jawline and bigger muscles. And now I care more about the sharper jawline than muscles because it's more impressive.
Interesting. You think having a sharper jawline is more impressive than muscles?
Oh, 100%, dude. Because anybody can get big muscles, but your face is the only part, that you can't cover. You can't fake it. It's always out in the world to see. And it's way, way harder to actually get a sharp jawline because you have to get like surgery and you have to be doing all these like really weird like drugs cosmetically, not just taking testosterone and Superdrol to get like big muscles.
Yeah,
and like the diet when you're bodybuilding, you can get away with protein shake and cereal for breakfast because the macros fit into play. But when you're trying to looks max, the macros and the micros need to be perfect or your skin's going to look weird. And like, so I'm battling that. I'm trying to fix my acne scars from all the steroids we did.
Yeah. So is that a thing of the past now or what?
Bodybuilding?
Yeah. And just not fitness in general, because I'm assuming you're going to continue to work out, but like the steroids, bodybuilding, that whole stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still love fitness, but I'm kind of tapped out on like taking grams of steroids and trying to be like a bodybuilder. Because that was the goal. Last time we talked, this is exciting. This is like when's the last time we did a podcast? A year and a half ago?
Yeah, about that.
And that was like when I was first coming up at the time. I think we filmed that right after one of my like my best video, Togi vs. Cowboy, and I was doing a ton of I was like 3 grams of steroids at the time, ton of drugs.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to be a bodybuilder and famous. And now that's kind of like way on the back burner because my blood work from back then, like my kidneys were that of like a 90-year-old's, and the kidneys suck because you can't get that back. Like it's getting better.
Yeah.
But once the kidneys, like I couldn't keep pushing my kidneys because it was like, as far as my genetic composition or whatever, like I could do anything to my liver and it'll always be good.
Yeah.
But unfortunately the kidney side, like the more difficult one to fix, is like way more sensitive to drugs. So it's like we kind of got to bail on it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, what you were doing? Were you overdoing drugs that were affecting the kidneys then? Like
yeah, I didn't know this until, and people make fun of me for it. I had no idea that taking pills, but the night I overdosed, the doctor was like, "Your kidneys are," and I'm like, "How?" And he's like, "Well, you took, like 30 meth pills," and I was like, "Dude, who would have known that pills is bad for your kidneys?" I thought it was just steroids. Now I know. So it was, you didn't know that either. You just learned it. You're laughing like you knew that, bro. You didn't know. I know it's a fact. You didn't know that until just this second. So now it's like the combination of everything. I had no idea it was bad for my kidneys. And I also was under the impression that you could take, whatever steroids you want. And as long as you take telmisartan, no, but like I really thought that. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, okay, like I'm chilling. I wasn't chilling. And now, so the new goal, my whole outlook on everything has been like new goals and everything. I want to get better blood work than Greg Doucette because he's always been with me. And he was right back then. He was like, Togi's gonna die. And I was like, you, Greg, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
He was right. I was totally gonna die.
Yeah.
But now he's like still kind of living in my head rent free. So I'm gonna try and get healthier than him. I'm getting close. Like my blood work is crazy good these days. Well, like comparatively, but it's like working in the right direction.
Yeah.
And so the whole like abusing drugs and how do I say this? That my entire come up was like very similar to Clabs in the sense that I did it the easy route.
The easy route? Is there even an easy route?
1 sec.
Yeah, by the way, he didn't want to drink out of this mug here because it's, I guess, more cumbersome.
Because I'm not a bitch ass motherfucker, bro. It is so inconvenient. I asked Brad for a water. Oh, yeah, I got you. I go to the bathroom. He comes back. He got a Mario mug.
He did have a point, though. We were walking here. He's like, see, I got to stop just to take a sip.
Inconvenient. But either way, so the easy route, like, well, I don't know. How did you start when you started doing social media?
Bro, I was just so interested in bodybuilding. It was just like, I'm just gonna train. It wasn't like what it was now, where you're going into something. I just did it like I'm a bodybuilder, and I read about an app coming out, and I just started like telling people to follow me on in person.
Which was YouTube?
No, it was Instagram. So Instagram was the first app that I actually got.
Wait, so you were like LARPing IRL? You're walking up to people like, "Yo."
Yes, in 2010, bro.
Dude, that gives me the same vibe of like the people that got like a car or whatever, but it's modded out and they put their Instagram on it. Like nobody's gonna follow you from that.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. That's exactly what I was doing in real life. I was in the gym and I was like telling people to follow me, and it was back when it was so brand new. It was literally just on the iPhone app store. It wasn't on the Samsung app store, the Google Play Store. So they'd be like, "Yeah, I can't even I don't even know what that app is. I can't download it."
Oh, so that you had like a big kind of first movers advantage.
Yeah.
Like you were like,
well, I didn't
one
know.
of the first
yes
content creators.
Yeah, I didn't know it was like, when you asked me that question, how did I get into it? I didn't know it was going to be what it was because I was like a part of the inception of it. So I was just doing stuff that I was just a bodybuilder, and I just loved training. I was a trainer, and so I started off just posting my body and like my clients at the time, because I had actual clients in person because I worked at a gym. I showed their transformations. That's how I started making content.
Oh, okay, word. I would say how do I phrase this? It's like I say the easy way because it's so easy the internet is like Play-Doh. The clip in the new clip era, you don't need. So we have this podcast. Most of the people that were watching this podcast are like reasonably intelligent people, whatever. But most views come from clips, and those people are idiots. Like it's so easy you don't need like incredible content. You just need a few clips. Like, okay, check this out. Ready? I'll give you the perfect example. I'll do 250 million views right now, incredibly easily. Just okay.
I feel like I know what's coming. Yo,
what are you laughing at? The point is that if you don't, and everyone watching this knows that I'm not racist. I'm just proving a point of how easy it is to get like, the attention of what people would want. And now if you don't bleep that out, that clip will do 250 million views. Not that I want that clip to do 250 million views, because everyone's gonna be like, oh, Togi's racist, this and that.
I get it.
So now I'm pivoting. Clav and I do the whole like, oh, you say like racist things, like you say the N-word and all that. And then you also talk about, I love drugs.
Yeah.
I love steroids. And then it's like so easy to be the bad guy and get the attention. But now I've like reworked it because I don't want to die. anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, this is a really interesting point. I get what you're saying entirely about like the sensationalism of whether it be words or actions or taking steroids or talking about it outwardly. Do you think that's been like a good thing or a bad thing overall for like the world? Because it's become like people do it now because they know exactly what you're saying to be 100% true. Like, I don't think you're a racist guy. I don't think you have a racist bone in your body. I think you're a really nice person. Like, genuinely off camera, you're a good guy. So when I hear you say it, I get it. And I've seen in the past, I think you've had a few viral clips, like with the, I don't know if it was that word or the version of it with an A, but just not the words I'm saying, you know?
Yeah.
But I understand why now people are so much more maybe wanting people to just be themselves and say stuff that they don't, you know, they don't have ill intent. It'd be different if you got in some sort of weird situation and like you said that, and I think that clip went viral, and then it'd be like, oh wait, you're actually a bad guy because you mentioned it with ill intent.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is the majority of like people who watch content, whether it be the clips or even long form, they're just kind of like, they're tired of people pretending to not be genuine.
Yeah, but then it gets to the point of like, it's hard to say. Yeah, people appreciate it feels more genuine watching Clav because he's not influenced by the sponsors. So if you take somebody like Mr. Beast, they won't say that word because it's so what's the word, corporate now. So it feels like really like, that's why kick streamers are so hot right now, is because it feels very like grungy and raw, even though it's not. I don't think Clav would be saying a lot of the things. It's not super authentic in the sense that he's kind of playing a persona, puffing his chest, just because Togi did it first, and who did it before me? Like whatever, Zerka did it before me, and like he kind of paved this entire roadmap of like, oh, you can go viral. It's actually really easy. You just like turn yourself. The easiest way to go viral, and this is funny actually. Do you remember your old filmer Jacob?
Yes.
He edits my YouTube videos now, and he was like, I really want to get famous. I was like, okay, I'll help you. No problem. First thing we got to do is gram of testosterone, 500 milligrams of Primo, 40 milligrams of Superdraw, 60 milligrams of Adderall, and a Xanax a day, just for a short period of time, because he said by any means necessary. And I'm just thinking, what is the one thing in common between everybody, like Zerka, Clav, me? It's like shifting your regular, like reasonable mind into being like a crazy person where you actually believe some of the things that you're saying. Like back then I would say crazy, I actually believe it, so it feels authentic, but it's not really the ideas that I like would ever come up with on my own. But those ideas are outlandish and it feels authentic, so they go super viral. And you're also like the bad guy, but the bad guy with credibility. So you're jacked, you look good, you look like Clav, and you're talking crazy. People love that. So it's like a hack. If you want to go viral, anybody could go viral. You just need to take the Bradley Martin Supreme.
In extreme measures.
Yeah, the testosterone, the Xanax, the Adderall.
Well, I've done Xanax for a flight, but I don't do Xanax like that. I take testosterone, obviously.
Yeah. The Xanax is I talked about this yesterday with Santa Cruz. What were you like when you were like 16 or like 17, 18?
As a person?
Like, were you like reasonably confident and jacked?
No, I think when I was 17, I started to get more jacked. Yeah. When I was 16, I was like just getting into the gym, but it was like very light. When I was 17, I started to get more serious about it. But I wouldn't say I was super confident. I was saying I was trying to find my confidence for sure.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Well, I would say in today's, I guess it might be slightly different back then as far as like what it takes to capture the attention. But today, it is super over for most men. Like, you look at me pre-social media and you look at Clav pre-social media. These are just the examples I'm using because it's like I know the story very well. Clav was big time autistic weirdo. Togi was super insecure loser. So it took extreme measures of turning myself with drugs, and that's what Clav does, and that's why Xanax is so great, because I was like extremely insecure. And no, but this is important, right? Because it's not a permanent solution. It just, I needed that to get my altitude. For example, the last time we did a podcast, I took a Xanax and an Adderall before because I was too nervous because it's like, oh, I'm going on RawTalk. Like, this is a big moment. You better do good, Togi. But now I'm dead sober and I feel more confident then because I put myself in these situations so many times. Now I can, I feel like I could talk to the world fully confident, sober, whatever. But old me, you couldn't practice. You couldn't, because here's the thing with failure is too much failure. A lot of people say, oh, just keep practicing, keep trying. Yeah. Too much failure is not good. If you talk to 100 girls and get rejected 100 times in a row, the 101st time is not going to be any better. It's going to be worse than where you started. So if I came on your podcast the first time, I bombed it out of it, I'm like shaking, nervous, it wouldn't, we wouldn't be making progress. But I would take Superdraw, Xanax, Adderall, things so I have ideas. I can say them without anxiety. And I did it so many times. It was like faking the confidence so brutally until I became the guy through experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So you use these things sort of as a tool to be able to be more of what you want it to be.
Asshole drinking out of a mug. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
You made these things, like you use these things obviously with the intention of being able to be a better speaker or be more forthcoming with whatever you're saying without feeling like insecure about it. You don't think there was a way to do that without it?
No, it was over for me. Like, I really genuinely mean that. I was so insecure. Like, if you knew me in high school, you would be like, that's not Togi. Like, I was very, very in my shell. And a lot of people say at that time, now I'm cleaning up my act, trying to like live longer, whatever, learn about longevity. But at that time, everyone's like, Togi, you're going to die at 40, 50. And I was thinking, I would rather die at 50 because that version of Togi died when he was 18, because I would have been working 9 to 5, doing going to a job, working for someone else, doing something I hate, 10 hours a day, putting on a mask of myself, just sucking up to some dude. Life, that's not living by any means. So I was thinking, I have to do this and I have to become something, not just become something more, become something different, a whole different person, because the person that I currently am, it has none of the tools, the intelligence, any confidence, anything to pull anywhere near like a level of success that would make me happy. So
that you have now, which you were then when you were 18, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You kind of like almost forced like the intention.
Yeah, and I hate motherfuckers that say like, oh, just like you don't need the drugs to do it, you blah blah blah. They really, those are all the people that started off like very confident. Like, some people throughout high school, throughout college, they just have higher testosterone and they're more confident, and they, were like typically like the people that were really good at sports growing up, whatever. Like, there's certain things about your genetics and your coming up that just make you more confident. And it's getting worse and worse and worse with more social media for kids, and talking to women is so much more difficult. And so 95% of young men, it's really over for. And I empathize with that because that's how me and Clav were. Is like, you look at old videos of Clav, you're like, yeah, that kid, he's a giga autist. Like, he does not got it figured out. But that's why I don't feel as if I was a bad influence, because I'm not saying this is the only answer. This is the only answer that I know works, because I did it and I know it works. Yeah. But in the crisis of so many young men, it being just fully over for them, maybe there's another answer. Maybe you can preach positivity and stay healthy and work out and do that. I don't think that works. I think you need hard drugs to transform your brain, because with your, like, my brain chemistry is never going to be the same since I did all those drugs. And I think partially the reason I was so insecure to start is because I fucked my brain chemistry by smoking weed every day since I was like really young. So it's like, if you already found yourself in your brain chemistry in a bad way because of you smoked too much weed or you watched too much porn growing up, you need something just as, if not more aggressive as watching too much porn, which would be, in like the positive side of that, would be taking a ton of testosterone.
It's so funny because like I absolutely see your perspective, and like I can't entirely argue against it, but I can say, like, if I'm speaking from my own perspective, I didn't take gear till I was like about 22, 23, and I just dealt with a bunch of, and I just like hated myself for years, and so I trained harder and harder. I used that hate to like propel me to a point where, okay, now this makes sense.
But I don't think that would I think that would make someone a better man. But in today's economy of like how I'm not like discrediting how outlandish you had to be back then. I don't know exactly what it was like, but I would imagine because of how saturated it is in today's, economy, you have to be 10 times more insane, 10 times better at talking because there's so much competition. Back then, it's like, who am I going to watch? I guess either Bradley Martin or Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know who was on Instagram back then.
Christian Guzman or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but what?
It's funny. It's just funny. He's the owner of Alphalete.
I don't know that is the gym.
Yeah, the brand too. Yeah,
Alpha Land, right?
Alpha
Land,
Land,
the same brand thing.
That's his gym brand. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. But I see what you're saying. So you think now it's for someone to get to some level, they need to do something extreme. Obviously, on the internet, I know that to be true.
Well, I think you can be a confident, successful man if you have a really strategic upbringing in the sense that you're not scrolling, wrecking your dopamine and always obsessed with what they're doing. You're focused on getting better at your sport, but that's like very rare. And you're not smoking weed. You're focused on getting good grades. And you're not focused on watching porn. You're focused on talking to girls. What percentage of men actually are living this existence versus this existence? Like I cooked myself. It was done. I was too far gone.
Yeah.
So I had to bring it back. I'd say this is 0.5% of young men, good grades, girls, sports. That's like out of the picture these days.
Yeah. Do you think if you didn't smoke weed and you didn't cook yourself earlier, you could have had a different?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I could have done everything without the steroids, but still not to the same degree because having the, doing it the like right way, like how you did it and building your confidence through struggle is like great. But I don't think the ceiling is unlimited when you open your eyes to just like, I'm just going to abuse drugs and do it. But you also have to strategically stop taking the drugs. You can't just like keep doing drugs forever because then it's like a up and down situation. You kind of it's like a meme coin, but with your life. You gotta sell the peak, and then
you're cooking today. You're cooking,
I know, bro.
bro.
This is all like I could sell a course, but I'd get probably in trouble for telling people to do drugs. But I'm telling you, this is like I truly believe the only way to fix a lot of young men. And this is a good question.
Yeah.
So we've established that I'm right.
You're right in a specific world for sure.
Okay, so I'm hearing that I'm right from you. And right, check this out.
Okay.
If you had a kid, he's 16 years old, and all he does is watch porn, smoke weed, he won't talk to girls. At what point? And then you're like, okay, like let's get you right. Like we'll get you whatever. You get a relationship with God and all this good stuff, and you start working on sports. But then 17, now he's 20, and he's still just like a beta cuck because of what he is. When you're young, your brain is like really, really squishy, and he's just cooked. At 20, are you gonna call me up and be like, dude, you were right? Where do I get the Xanax? Or are you gonna like, how would you personally make your kid where he needs to be if he's like cooked? Like really understand that he's like.
So I can't go back and say hopefully that I raised him differently previously.
No, because we're talking
I have to assume that my kid is cooked, even though so that means I fucked up fathering him younger.
Yeah, and this is more like an imaginary scenario for like other parents, because I'm sure your kids will be great, but parenting, I
see what you're saying. So the kids, we're just assuming the kid's cooked.
Yeah, like what's the protocol? You gave him 3 years of working out and trying to get closer with God, and he still will not talk to girls, watches porn, all that bad.
Okay. So for sure, I would make sure that I've got his blood work done, and I want to see what his like testosterone levels were and what his actual like body was like expressing, right? Because there is a lot of if there's issues there, you do want to fix them. I can't immediately go like, yo, take Xanax or steroids. Like there's tons of things he could do to fix his hormones so that he can be more like, yo, I'm more mentally apt to be better.
But it's not about, because his hormones could be perfectly aligned. His neurochemistry is out of whack. Like he could have 1,000 testosterone and 30 estrogen, but because of how this stuff has hammered his serotonin, dopamine, all that stuff in his brain, he's still going to be a very insecure in his shell person, regardless of the testosterone. Like that is a fact.
Okay.
So what do we do?
Okay, well, so here's my issue with it. If I just go, take testosterone, right? He's going to just become more of the person he is to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more confident though. There is sort of no denying that. If his estrogen gets, let's say, a little bit lower, it's not too low because then it can create forms of anxiety. His brain chemistry is going to be higher functioning because of the testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that's what I'm saying. I think he can do that. You can do that naturally to an extent. You don't need I didn't take Xanax for
okay,
confidence.
naturally. And when you say naturally, like by taking testosterone or like clomiphene, getting your hormones like
getting them right
in line.
Yeah, getting them in line. I think he can still but
you don't have time to waste, Brad. Say you think he's gonna get fixed, and then now he's 24, and you're like, what the is going on? He still lives in my basement. And once he's 24 and still living in his basement, the window of opportunity is tiny. If you aren't, as a young man, if you wait until you're 25 and you have no opportunity, nothing. Luckily, he's Bradley Martin's son, but assume you couldn't give him opportunity. You couldn't give him the exact roadmap to success because you've done it yourself. You're just like a regular parent. We don't have time. We gotta, you have to fix something immediately. And the slow route of testosterone, like, yeah, come on, we got this. You're gonna have to take some, or at the very least, like, would you give him like other steroids, stuff that would like mess with your head?
Yeah, maybe a little microdosing mushrooms. I'd suggest that.
Oh, that's good.
Sure.
That's thinking outside the box. I didn't actually think about that.
Dihex is another really good peptide you could take.
Okay, this seems actually potentially more responsible.
I just wouldn't go straight to like, yo, take Xanax, chill the fuck out, get to the gym.
Chill the fuck out. Okay, you know what? I think you're right. I think like exploring with psychedelics and like peptides to like reset your brain chemistry is probably better. Unless you're trying to like get famous and you need like now in the pursuit of just like being a high functioning male. That's probably a less risky road.
Well, now I guess what you're telling me, I could just get him to say on the internet and just go viral, bro.
Well, I'm telling you, we just did 500 million views, Brad. That is awesome. So I did 250, you did 250. We could just sit here and say like all types of things. Like, well, actually, I don't want to get like really canceled, but we could really farm clips and just like talk about every race. Well, bro, we could do another one like Indian people just smell like curry. I hate like, dude, we could go and it's like, we could just do a clip farm podcast talking about anything, life, anything.
No,
have you ever thought about that? And if you were to start like, maybe nobody watches RawTalk anymore, you could make it like talk or something. And you viral guaranteed, bro. I'm telling you. And that's actually a good point. Well, because it's like, if you were, Nick Fuentes is the most famous young man right now.
Yeah, I'd say so.
If you were like 1/50th as successful as Nick Fuentes, you'd still be very successful. So if you were cooked, you could just kind of be like a way version of Nick Fuentes with no like intelligence, and you just like run around and saying a bunch of, you would probably make $100,000 a month realistically. But there's like reasons you shouldn't do that, because I don't know if you want to just be like that guy on the internet. But there is like, in the pursuit of capturing attention, there's an easy way.
There is an easy way. There is an easy way.
We just kind of dabbled with the easy way a little bit. This podcast, if you don't censor it, well, you get taken down. But
yeah, there definitely seems to be an easy. But is that always the most rewarding way?
No, that's why I don't feel as if I'm like, for how many views I've gotten, I don't feel as successful as I would have felt if I did it like how you did it. Right. So that's why like the next year is a whole new challenge. It feels like I'm starting my career from day one.
Dude, you know what you basically remind me of then? You're like an OnlyFans girl who did a bunch of porn and then they stop.
Shut the f up. No. This is different.
And they get the easy money.
Okay.
And then they go, I'm about God now.
Camila, that started off. First of all, she still sells money on OnlyFans. Okay. This is not at all the same, because
go ahead.
Well, it's not totally different, but it's I like to think I'm better than these. Is what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, either way, the it's about the comeback. Like, okay, I will admit that. Okay, well, first of all, put a certain degree of respect on my casino sponsorship because I was like, there's like real pioneers. Like Steve will do it.
Yeah.
Trainwrecks, those motherfuckers that like made online casinos real. But I was the one that made gambling your life savings cool and like doing like really outrageous, not just gambling casually. I was the one that was like, oh, like I gamble my life savings a bunch of times and all this. And now every person goes on Instagram reels and copies, oh, calling my girlfriend for a loan, calling my grandma for a loan, and it's all fake. So you get the reels. These are like modern day OnlyFans. Like the equivalent male version of OnlyFans is a dude that does a reel. You got to bleep that casino name. So they post these reels and they don't even like gambling. So here's the thing with OnlyFans girls. If you're through and through, like you're actually like you love just popping for attention and you love that, then you deserve it. You deserve the money. You deserve to be an OnlyFans model. If it's against your morals, against your ethics, and you don't really like popping but you're like, they got money. So you don't really love gambling, but you're like, Togi drives, he's got 3 Lambos now. Like maybe I should. You don't deserve that. You shouldn't be an OnlyFans model if it's against what you're doing. So that's like a stout difference between me. And I'm still saying, I'll admit it, like I'm more or less the equivalent of an OnlyFans girl in the male world because of the casino sponsorship, that just being like the easiest money. But what I'm really focused on is the, like, I guess, redemption arc. Instead of just being an OnlyFans girl and then turning into like whatever the course, like Camila's selling a course now, I'm going to make incredible content. I have my own casino. It's actually almost done. You should sign up.
Really?
Yeah. But either way, me and TJR made our own casino. So we have that so I can like make money. And then the content, dude, it's some of the I got planned. Here, can we pull up a video on here?
Yeah, pull it up.
Look up on YouTube, Japanese game show Slippery Stairs.
Yeah, I know exactly what this is.
Check this out. This is good. So
you bro, I want to do this.
You can come be a commentator or like announcer if you want, or you can physically do it if you want. I'm going to be competing. But it's great because you got all these Japanese people and they're competing for money, and look at them. They're like, oh, I need to get the top for my family.
Is it just covered it?
It's so slippery. I need the money for my family and I survive. Oh.
Is it soap?
Oh, it's so slippery. Yeah, so it's like this lube soap contraction and these people, whatever, competing. But check this out. So you thought Mr. Beast, people think not you. People thought Mr. Beast was unethical. Just wait until I post this next video, because what I'm doing, it's like there's a bunch of elements of the video, but I spent $1 million on this. So we have an actual arena, that exact setup, and I'm bailing out 5 people from jail, and then I'm competing against them. All 5 of them were competing. There's 3 different Japanese game show games. Each winner gets $20,000. So these people like really need it. And then it's so authentic in the pressure. It's going to be electric. I'm flying out 100 Japanese illegal immigrants, ideally from Japan. And if you're not cheering loud enough in the crowd, then you get sent back to Japan. It's like the most high stakes arena of Japanese game show for people that actually really need the money, which is great because I'm giving somebody that actually needs money to, like, it creates a really real emotion. Some people are gonna be devastated that they didn't like slip up the stairs fast enough, especially if I win. Then I really look like a dick. But hopefully I don't win all of them.
So if you win, will you keep it or will you?
No, well, they're not gonna watch this. If I win, I'll distribute the money amongst them evenly.
Yeah.
But I want them to really think that if they don't win, they're not gonna get any money. And to a degree, if they don't win, they're not gonna get any money. Like if one of the convicts wins and then the rest, like he gets the money, that everyone else doesn't get shit.
Who comes up with these ideas? Is it you?
Yeah.
No one else helps you.
Well, I have one friend, my best friend from college. We started a business together, wildly unsuccessful business so far, but I'm very excited about it. It's a supplement brand. But either way, he's autistic. And so him and I, like, since the inception of my YouTube video, we call before and we like bounce ideas off of each other and like make it. So he's like my idea. Well, actually, they know him now. It's Liam. They saw him in my last YouTube video. So it's just me and him. For some reason, like for surface value, when you like think of an idea, a lot of the times it sound like when I try and explain these ideas to certain people, they're like, that doesn't really sound like it's gonna get a ton of views. But the picture that we can paint with it, like Japanese game show with convicts, is just like I can see it so clearly. So we spent like all my money that I have on it, and I think it's gonna be a hit. I think it's gonna be really fun.
So I'm curious about the money thing. Do you like, because I kind of asked Steve this too, but do you take pretty much all the money you have and keep trying to like double it? Like
Yeah,
you keep
yeah. Well,
reinvesting
not
it?
necessarily double it, but so the gambling thing.
Like, do you have money in a bank account somewhere?
No. Well, I mean, I don't know. So
I'm not trying to be the IRS or anything.
I have to wire out, well, and then the taxes take like most of my available money. Like I have to sell some watches to pay for this video and my taxes this year. But it's like I'm so obsessed with making better content that I'm willing to spend. My friend texted me the other day. It was Liam. How much will you spend on a YouTube video? And I said my net worth, not including my house. So that's like my savings account right now is my house. And then just recently, I'm trying to set aside money, but dude, overhead is insane. Like I'm just as broke as the first day I started, other than I have a house and cars, but there's no money. I owe people hundreds of thousands of dollars. I owe the IRS like a few $1 million. So I
legitimately the government, you owe a few $1 million.
Yeah. Well, like 1 point something.
Yeah.
So it's not, but the thing is, as far as me existing as like, I'm 23, so I don't have any real responsibilities. I have my employees that need to get paid, and I always make sure they're paid first. They're happy before myself, but I don't have a family. Well, I have a mother and father or whatever, but they are already like, I grew up like middle class, like they're chilling. They don't really need any money. I didn't have to like, like whatever. So they're fine. I have no real responsibilities. And as far as like existing and being happy, it feels nice to like give money away and spend so much money on content. And I guess this is kind of like a mentality that Steve taught me, but it just like, just kind of have faith in the process, especially when you're in the casino world. Like if I really ever came down to it, I could take a month off from YouTube and just stream like 100 hours gambling, and you would get paid a ton of money. Like, I'm not saying that I'm so courageous with how I spend my money, because I always have a fallback. I could always, sell one of my 6 cars and then survive if it really like hit the fan. So that's why it's like, and I'm also very confident in, making videos, getting attention. Same with Steve. Like Steve knows he makes a video, it's going to go crazy. Yeah. So he spent whatever 500 racks on a giveaway for those videos. Like most people don't have the confidence that whatever, this is going to work out, because no matter what, I could turn on the camera. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, what if I get arrested because I can't pay my taxes and I'm broke? I was thinking, that's going to go viral. I'll make money off that, and then I'm good. Like no matter what, I'll always get the attention, knock on wood. Like God forbid I like break my mouth and I can't speak, but that will go viral too. So everything gets views when you are, I don't know, when you've set yourself up in a certain way. And also like, I don't know. So I've never been concerned about money, and one day I'll be concerned. But if you really crunch the numbers, dude, how much money do you spend a month on non-business related things?
Non-business? Dude, not much. Like, I mean, food, do you consider that non-business?
Yeah. Like food, and imagine you had one kid.
I mean, I don't know how much I'd end up paying for one kid, but food, I mean, I probably spend like $3,000-$4,000 on non-business. Business spend way more.
Yeah, like everything. But imagine you want to step out from the business world and step into the family world. It couldn't cost more than $50,000 a month. Well, there's no way it could cost. Like that's literally so. And is there any situation you could ever see yourself in where you wouldn't be able to make $50,000 in a month?
At this point, no.
Exactly. It's impossible. And I don't think I could ever make less than $50,000 a month, just because of the brand that we've built. So it's like, if I ever wanted to step away from the business and stop investing so much into it, I could still make $50,000 a month and take care of my family and this and that. You just have to like downgrade your
I see what you're saying.
Expectation, like not fly private and all that.
So let's go like a theoretical, right? If you were to stop all of this, like if you had to stop all of this, like you said, you went to jail or something, but then again, it's content. Um, how, like, I guess my question is, at what point do you go, okay, like I need to protect more of this money? You're not there yet. I get it.
At what point do I need to protect more of the money? It depends on what, because I truly believe that, you know, being a good person and outputting, like changing other people's lives, it all comes back to you. So it's like, if I were, the only reason I would say I should protect my money more is if I was a bad person and I like had something coming out to me and I was spending all my money on myself and stuff. But I have no problem giving away money because that's almost, in a sense, protecting it in itself. If I give away $100,000, not one to one, but the universe owes me $100,000.
Dude,
So
you
it's
have
like investing in the stock market, but the karma market.
Yeah, you and Steve too are the funniest individuals to me, man. You have the most, like I would say one of the coolest outlooks on life. You truly believe in that karma.
Well, I truly believe in it, and it's also, I don't take life too seriously. Like as a whole, a lot of people get like really worked up about like what you get more worked up about a lot of things, like $1,000 type of thing. That happened, Brad. You can't deny it. Either way, the people can see that clip for themselves.
So you want $1,000? I'll send it to you right now.
You're saying that because you know I'm going to say no, and I can't say yes because I look like a buff if I say yes. Either way, the point is that and Safari's another good example. You guys are like really a lot more concerned about a lot of small things, in my opinion. I don't take anything too seriously. I think honestly, I was more or less not just as happy. I was pretty happy when I had nothing because I had good friends. So as long as I have good friends, like good friends, good family, I take seriously. Everything else in life, like I don't think this makes me 0.5% happier for 1 week. And then after it's like, okay, like it just like exists, you know? Like it's not so much about what the empire, my financial empire that I'm building. It's more about like the experiences that I'm living and the way I've been doing things and not caring about anything, like whatever allows for me to be a lot more forgiving with my money or with my relationships. Like for example, I have a lot of friends that work with me and they fuck up everything. They've cost me millions of dollars. One of my homies accidentally sent my social security number to a scammer because he thought it was the government and we were trying to get an EIN for a business. And either way, it's a whole thing. But it's like, dude, you know what? If my identity gets stolen, it's not that deep, dude. It's cool. Like, I don't got to trip. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And then my relationships, I sacrificed millions of dollars and a lot of influence, and my brand's not as big as it could be. But I have my homies, and we can always scrape together $3,000 to go to Rio Los Cabos and buy a bottle of Xanax and a couple of Ritalins and like have a time of your in life. You know what we should do, Brad? We should go to Rio Los Cabos for spring break, ASU spring break, and we can just ton of 18-year-olds. Yeah, I don't know what you're laughing at. You know you would like it, bro. It's awesome. Like, not regular 18-year-olds. Snow Bunny, ASU. And we got to do it. Well, you're already past that age, but I'm thinking I got to go to ASU because I'm getting too old. I can't be like, no shade to like Mike, whatever his face is with the Logan Paul podcast.
Yeah, Mike
He's
Malak.
old as and he's doing like all this LA talking to models, and it's just like, dude, go get yourself a son and lock in, bro. You know what I mean? So either way, the point is I'm 23. I only have a few more years of going to Rios Los Cabos and doing Xanax and like hanging out with the 18-year-olds, and it is the best. Have you ever done like anything along those lines?
I mean, I've gone to Cabo.
But like okay, have you like how many 18-year-olds have you slept with? No, but really, like, it's an important metric of like how it's an experience.
I get it. I mean, when I was younger, when I was close to your age, yeah, I'd done more of that.
Okay, so you've done it.
I want to go. I'll chaperone.
Oh, so you're coming to Rio Los Cabos?
Yeah, I'll chaperone. I'll be there.
Spring break with Bradley Martin. That's gonna be so much fun. Okay, word. Yeah, let's do it. And I won't tell anybody. You can say you're chaperone. I won't tell anybody if you 18-year-old dude. It's my lips are sealed. I don't care at all. I think it's great. How old?
Yeah.
Is the ideal age for a woman that you bang?
a age. I mean, I wouldn't. 10 years younger probably. You know.
Is ideal?
Well, that's like probably as low.
Oh, that's like the lower range. I agree that like, well, for me, I can't go 10 years younger because that would be 13. So that's
Yeah.
not good. But I would say like in the adult world, I don't know, but I would diagnose it as like I would want a girl to be like 6 or 7, 5 or 6 years younger than me.
Younger than you, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but do you think that's perfect for you then? So 18 then.
Yeah, so that's what I'm cool with. It's like I'm in the clear, 18 years old until I turn. But the problem is with the 18-year-olds is, well, A, there's a chance they're 17, so you gotta be careful with that. And then B, there's a big gap of maturity. Like in the adult world, 25 to 35, you're both like adults.
Yeah.
18-year-olds are really not very mature, which is kind of like the great part about them is that they just shut the fuck up and they sit there and they laugh at your jokes. No matter how unfunny they are, they'll sit there and laugh at your jokes. And that's why they're so great. But it's also like maybe when I'm 1 year older, it's going to be like too big of a gap. It already feels like I should, because I feel like 21 at heart, but I'm 23. Like at a certain point, I should stop banging 18-year-olds.
Yeah, you're still young as though, man.
I'm still in the clear. Bradley Martin approved.
No, you are totally. I mean, dude, you've done a lot at this point. I just still find so interesting your mentality around karma and around life and around giving back and like almost this mindset of abundance that is just never going to leave you.
Well, and also I truly believe I will always be very blessed because I work. Like a lot of people will see like whatever influencers like, oh, you're super lucky or whatever. A really good example, actually, I was just telling somebody about this again. I talk about Steve Dude a lot because I look up to him a lot, but a lot of people assume he got lucky, right place, right time, because there's other people that can chug as much alcohol. There's other people that are a little bit crazier, but then I'll be on the phone with Steve for literally an hour straight and I won't get a word out. He's just talking about social media strategy and the placement of ideas and how a specific second of his video needs to look to capture the attention. And so it's like his ideas are brought together perfectly. There's so much structure in the chaos. So it seems random, but nobody really sees like how much is really going to the infrastructure of the whole operation. And that's why he's one of the biggest YouTubers. And I have so much confidence in my ability and what I've learned to output stuff that's going to like get attention and always come back to me. So I think even though it looks like to them, I'm taking a big risk because it looks like, oh, he's just lucky, whatever. I'm so confident that it won't leave me. And if it does leave me, it's not that deep. Maybe on to the next thing, like I have made, like when I was 18, I was a millionaire. Then I was broke. And then when I was 20, I was a millionaire. And then I was broke. And then when I was 21, I was a millionaire. And it's not left me yet. But dude, I've done and did it so many times. It's no problem. Like it's cool.
So to the kid who is like wants to, I wouldn't say be Togi, but be able to be in the position that you're at. How do you get from nothing to something? Does it go back to what we said earlier about just being crazy on the internet?
The mentality of it's the obsession with what you're doing is the most important thing. Like I remember I would be so obsessed with like, and it sounds corny, but I would be so obsessed with the idea of becoming more, whether owning a business or whatever, becoming famous. It really felt like I needed it more than I needed to eat food or I needed to breathe air. So it would be like not just trying, but trying with like extreme intent. Every day you try something and you're going to fail 1,000 times. Somebody the other week texted me and it's like, Togi, I'm really having a really hard time with this clipping thing or this getting famous thing. I've been posting, like a few times a week and I don't know, I'm not getting any traction. And it's like, I didn't figure it out until I posted I didn't go viral until I posted about my 1,000th video because it's all a learning curve. But a lot of people will get to 1,000 videos if you're not really passionate about what you're doing. Like you're not studying people that are more successful than you and making adjustments. You're never going to get where you need to be. So it's that mentality. But then for some reason, I kind of circle that back to, was I so obsessed to the point of insanity because of the drugs? Maybe. I did take the drugs because I wanted it very badly, but it amplified that mentality to the point where I could never have lost, if that makes sense. Like it was in the air of my success before I took the drugs. I knew I wanted it really bad, but I knew I wasn't the man that I needed to be. So I took the drugs, and then that like amplified the idea of obsession.
Yeah, it's
To that
crazy. It's the question that I have it's like, how do you create the thought that you're going to have abundance? Because that's kind of what you're talking about and how you've had your success without having any abundance.
It's
Are you really just saying it's just the drugs? There's no way.
No, because when I first became a millionaire and went broke, I was not on the drugs. And the reason I went broke is because I thought there was unlimited money coming my way. And I was just spending like a ton of money, whatever, it's no problem. So I always had that abundance mindset. I'm trying to diagnose exactly what it is, but it was almost like, what's the word, the Dunning-Kruger thing? When I first got rich, I thought I understood money very well, because I was at the start of the Dunning-Kruger. So I was overly confident, and I was like delusionally confident, even though I didn't deserve that. So it almost seemed impossible. Okay, how did you feel when you made your first $500,000?
I was kind of shocked. I didn't know that I was going to be able to make that much money.
Bro, I feel like every person I ever seen that makes their first 500,000 is like, I'm the man. And I
felt that way. I felt that way.
Okay.
But I was somewhat like, because social media I didn't know that it was going to be what it is today. Like, I first released, I was doing coaching, just like literally capturing emails, not on like an email program thing, but like send me an email and I'll communicate with you and like send a program and then work with someone like week to week. And that's when I made, that year I would have made my first 500,000. But I just didn't even know that I was going to have that ability. Like, cause you got to remember, like I told you previously, I was a trainer training people in person, and I was making like 5, 6, sometimes 8, maybe $10,000 a month. And that was really good, like really good. And then social media comes, and there was no, there weren't brands paying people. There was nothing. It was just like what you could make from your own.
Yeah.
And so I started this whole online coaching thing, which previously people did like virtual coaching. Like people would train like competitors, like in the competitor space, but on like to the mass public, there was no like online coaching. So
how old were you at this time?
22 or so, maybe your age, 23.
Okay, word.
And so I would like make these little squares, like selling online coaching, weekly check-ins and like all the stuff it would have. And there was no examples. So I didn't know that like there was no one else who did it, who I was like, oh, how much do you make? People started hitting me up asking me how much I made, but it was so much so fast. I think it was like $30,000 online, and I'd still make like 8 to 10 in person. And then the next month it was like $70,000. And it was just like, it was 100% profit. It was just my information, right?
Yeah. So okay,
I didn't. So no, yeah. I didn't know it was going to be that fast. And then every month it was just more and more, and then it was just consistent. It was a shock more than anything. Don't get me wrong. Like I did have the intention of like, okay, I want to be able to be great at this once I started doing it. It's because I was doing it for so many years prior, just as a coach in person. But I didn't know. I had no idea. Like it just hit, and I was like, holy, this is it's a lot more than I thought.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, so it's like when you're young and you first become successful, nobody helped Brad. It was just Brad. I did it myself and I made all this money, and you actually made more money than you had ever thought. A lot of people, every person that including myself, when they first make money, they give themselves too much credit, and that because of whatever you think, well, you did deserve it to a degree, but there's also an element of luck. Like you didn't even know you could make 70,000.
Yeah.
And there's a few things that went in. And then when I first got rich, it was like all luck, 100%, whatever. But the point is, you believe so much that it was all you when you first did it, even if you were like massively, it sounds like yours was a lot less luck than most people. Like it was more of like
the
a
biggest luck
strategic
was
grind.
the timing for me. Because I didn't know that it was going to be like such a viable platform that was going to be able to make so much money.
But then once you do it once, it's like, I did it. No one helped me. No one could fuck with me. I did it. That like once I did it one time, I was delusional for the rest of my life that I can do anything. And everyone else that has made significant amount of money for, the abundance mindset comes from, you just have to make $500,000 one time, and then no one can ever fuck with you again. Even if you lose it, no one can ever fuck with you again because you did it and no one helped you. Even if it was 95% luck, you just got to do it once. Like even Like if you really couldn't find the abundance mindset, like whatever, sell your car and gamble it. And if you make $500,000, you're going to think you deserve that because you took the risk of selling your car. You're going to think you're so cool you did it. And then you have the mindset. Then it's like locked in.
Or you lost all the money.
Or you lost all the money, but it doesn't matter because it's over for you anyways. If you didn't have the abundance mindset, right? And you had a car, either it's over for you and you have a car, or it's over for you and you don't have a car. Both of them are not viable options for existing. So you have to max risk everything. I'm not saying definitely gamble. That's like the easiest way to do it. But like max risk everything with no regard, because this is what people don't understand is why are we holding on to your participation trophy? You're holding on. Like I have a lot of friends that don't want to quit their accounting job and in the pursuit of more, because it's like, oh, but if I quit my job, it took me 6 months to get this job. It's not easy. But why are you so obsessed with dog? You have a pile of dog and you are slightly less stinky dog than being homeless. But at the end of the day, you are so far from being successful that you really have nothing to lose. And a lot of people, like, it's the easiest when you hit, like, it was very easy for me to do this because like I was like really rock bottom, like addicted to ketamine, living on my friend's couch. So I actually had nothing to lose. Like I could take unlimited risk because there was nothing that would. But people have this perception that they have something to lose, but really it's a participation trophy.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're talking about the mentality that people have that they want way more out of their life, but they settle, which we're calling the participation trophy, for whatever feels safe to them, like the job of the accounting job that they probably hate or they don't really want, and they want something else.
And another really big participation trophy is the motherfuckers that make $100,000 a year. And this one like hits a nerve for me because one of my best friends I try and get, he's an entrepreneur and he has really big dreams, but he's like, I just got a raise, bro. I make $140,000 a year. Like, it's not bad. I'm like, okay. And we talk about his job. He's depressed. He like actually wants to end his life and he hates his job, whatever. But because they tell him that 140 for a 24-year-old is good, he's like, okay, I should hold on to that. But you're so far from where you should be and you're so unhappy that it's like, snap out of it. You really have nothing good going on.
I see what you're saying. Because the way that they have something good, they have a good job, but if they're not happy in it, then why the fuck are they even holding on to it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So the kids, so then to people who, because most people who, most people just in general, I do believe end up holding on to things that they don't necessarily want, but feel safe. Are you really just saying that drugs are the only way to break out of that?
No. What you have to understand is that the real risk in this life is not taking the quote unquote risk, right? Because your window of opportunity is closing. And when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to be thinking, oh, thank goodness that no one ever saw me fail. Thank goodness that I didn't like try. You're going to be thinking, holy, I never got to see myself shine. Because once you adapt to the mentality or you understand what you're actually risking by playing the safe route, it's the riskiest thing in the world, letting this window opportunity. One day is way, like one day, you can let one day go, whatever. 1 month is your window closes way more than you could have ever imagined, because then the bills pile up and you're more and more, every month you're more and more locked into this job because the system, it hardens the pressure. Once you're in the job, then, you get a slight bonus at the end of the year, and now rent is going up, and you now have whatever you got to pay. You turn 25, you got to pay for your own health insurance. It hardens, and you have a kid, and then 30 years old, you're locked in. Your window is actually like fully closed because you have a family, whatever. You can't afford to take the risk. So people think they have until 70 before their window's closed. Your window is a pinhole by the time you're 30. So it's like the first 10 years is the most risky time you could ever imagine not taking what they think is the risk.
I see. So, man, you're not wrong at all. At all. Like this is facts.
Word, dude. Everything I said today, Bradley Martin, stamp of approval.
No, I'm not kidding, dude.
Especially at the start.
No, I'm not kidding. You really did cook. That's crazy. Because there's no denying that. Like, people hold on to that base level of things because, like you said, it's just scary to think outside of it. And then as you get older, you're 100% right. The more responsibilities, the more bills, the more things that are starting to come your way, and you feel like you have to hold on to more. And at the same time, the economy is just slowly doing this more and more so that the money that you do make is less and less valuable. And then you're just held in this shell. I mean, this is like one of the, I would say the biggest reasons right now in the world why young men are not like really in relationships or having kids is because there's so many things that they like, I guess kind of didn't sort of account for. Cause you know, not most kids are 18, 20, 23 year olds are not going to be like, oh, what's going on with the socioeconomic status of the world and taxes? And it really is just like doing this to what you have. And so if you're absolutely right. I think if you don't take more risks when you're younger, you're 100% going to get older and be like, man, I wish I would have done that. I could say without a doubt, even the stuff that I have now, I'm super grateful for, but I can look back at my younger self and be like, I could have went harder. I could have done more. And I think no matter, I mean, I guess if you have that mentality, even you might look back someday and be like, I could have done more, even though you've done everything. It sounds like you're just going to have that feeling, but you're right. There are a lot of people that just never even try.
Well, there's a lot of, what do they call it? The type A, type B. So it's like you or myself would be type A, which it typically is associated with more anxiety, more depression, but significantly more success because I'm like chronically stressed out that I didn't do enough last year. And it's like, why? Like I spend like even a few hours wasting my time and it like hurts my soul. I didn't do enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm falling behind. And those are the people that become very successful. And then there's the type B. And that's where a lot of judgment, because it's about 50% of the population is type B. They are genuinely overall like actually happier than probably us and a lot of type B, a lot of type A's. And that's why there's a lot of judgment, because it's like, dude, what's the big deal? Why do you even like, I'm cool just like kind of like floating by, because they actually are cool floating by. And those are the people like that make the system churn as a college. But then looking from our perspective, looking at them, it's like, dude, you must hate your life, because to us, we would hate the life of mediocrity. But mediocrity is, for a lot of people, a good thing. They just want one kid and $100,000 a year, and it's like, boom, I'm happy. So I try to not push, like, these are my opinions on things, and if people can relate to that, that's great. But I try to not push it on everybody, because like as far as how your brain works, a lot of people are never going to relate to what we're saying right now.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But I feel like most people want more out of their life, no matter what, even if they have that mentality.
You would be surprised. A lot of people are like, actually, really, everybody likes to dream of more, but it's more like how people like to watch a movie. It's more of like an enjoyable state of mind. But a lot of people really genuinely are happy working at like whatever, and a lot of things affect that, like if you smoke too much weed or whatever, you become very content with who you are. But the point being is, if you're actually content, if you can look at yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself and like, I'm truly content, then I have no problem with you. But the problem is, a lot of type A people, or people that dream bigger, like to fall into this mindset of, oh, it's just good enough, because a lot of people are like reasonably intelligent, or most people are smarter than me, and they work on like law of averages. So it's very easy you look at the world as averages. So it's like, the existence of a top 0.1% person is almost like non-existent, because everything is just an average. And that's what I hate, is when you look at yourself in the mirror and it's like, you know what? I'm never going to be like whatever, because that's just like physically not possible. A lot of people can't wrap their head around the idea of becoming very successful in an unorthodox way, because it doesn't fit the bell curve.
So you don't think anyone can do it?
I think some people, physically, anybody can do it, as far as if you were to follow the right thing. But if you were to follow like the correct steps in the path of obsession with it, I think anybody can do it, but most people won't, because that's just how it is, unless you take the drugs.
It's just, I love,
bro. If you had a better answer, I'd be preaching that. There's no better answer than getting your head, because I used to be in the same, but you know, in high school, my dream job, and I would have been genuinely happy if I worked this job, because people find, your brain, you know, like wants to be happy. People find a way to be happy. I genuinely thought my dream job was to not even own, to work at a smoke shop and just chill and like be that guy that sells jewel pods to minors. I thought it'd be cool. Like, whatever, I'll be the cool guy in the neighborhood. I'll smoke weed all day. It's a great job. Not because I tricked myself into thinking I wanted that, but it's because I didn't actually believe that I could accomplish more, until I got a taste of it until you start, taking the drugs and it like opens your eyes to it. If there was a easier, healthier route to doing that, then I would absolutely be in favor of that. But this entire hour long veteran at life, Bradley Martin, can't give me a better example of how to transform your mind into a Superman other than 90 milligrams of Adderall, 1 Xanax, Superdrol, Primobolan, gram of testosterone. What's the answer, Brad? I haven't heard a single answer to how you can get there.
I kind of told you earlier. I got here. It was the circumstances were a little bit different, but I didn't do it with just testosterone. I didn't do it with any of those other drugs. I did take just testosterone.
Okay,
so I did one.
Yeah, okay. So okay.
I can't. I will not deny that fact. I didn't do Adderall. I didn't do any of that.
Do you think if you didn't take testosterone?
That's a good question. I thought about this a lot. I can say without a doubt, I don't think my life would be the same way. No.
Well, testosterone's easy though because like you can, within a reasonable doubt, if you do it correctly, not die because of your testosterone before 80 years old. Like if you do it very correctly, so that's like a responsible thing to say, but. In the pursuit of like, I have a hard time believing, and maybe this is just like my ego or whatever. I really believe that it was more over for a lot of kids today, including myself and Clav. I think the amount back they were like because of marijuana, pornography, whatever, all that, it's TikTok. I think they're set so far back that just back in your day, testosterone is going to cut the chut, right? You can get
Who's going to get it? I see.
Not anymore, bro. I really don't think so. But I guess that's kind of like, again, I'm not wrong, actually. I could say I might be wrong. I'm not. There's no way. But I hope that there is a solution because I don't like telling people because it's not going to, you could do these drugs and like die, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like, it's awesome and whatever it is and that because you literally could ruin your life. But your life was already ruined. So it doesn't really though. It was like, I would rather die at 22 while I'm trying with everything by any means necessary. But then, you die when you're 16 because you spent 80 years.
60 or 80, right? When you die.
No, when you die, you're 16 because
you mean you
live
die.
a life of bullshit. I would rather die at 22 trying. And also, I don't know. I think I don't want to say that. I want to stay alive. But I feel as if I've experienced in the last 3 years enough for me to be out experiencing most people in their lives. So if I were to die today, I wouldn't be happy because I have a lot more that I want to do, but I'd be at least happy that I was trying with 100% and I got to experience a lot of things. I got to change a lot of people's lives. So it's like overall, my life as of today has been a net. I'm just like slightly above. Was your life good or bad? I'd say my life was good.
I think that's beautiful. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, man. I'm honestly proud of you. Even from the last time we've talked to like where you are, like you've only gotten better, you've only gotten bigger, and you've only gotten better at speaking too. You're really good at this shit.
Thank you, Brad. Yeah. That means a lot to me. Yeah, that was. I remember last time we did the podcast. We went to the gym and it was like off camera, and you were giving me a bunch of like advice and words of encouragement and stuff, and I'm really grateful for like my network and like you, Steve, and everybody that's helped me get where I am now. And now I kind of want to like help my friends like have a similar experience as far as coming up. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, you earned it, bro. I mean, anyone can say whatever they want to say about the way you got here or their opinion on like the drugs and all this. It's funny because a lot of it sounds like jokes, but I know a lot of it's actually just genuine. But you did it, like you did it, and there is something to say about a 23-year-old that feels like, not that you would want to pass away at any point in your life now, but to feel like you've done and you've put your best foot forward no matter what, that's rare. I think a lot of 23-year-olds, I mean, even probably 30-year-olds feel like they haven't done enough in their life. And, it's kind of what we were talking about, staying in the norm. But, dude, I mean, you're a testament to just like, let me try my best with whatever I have no matter what. In kind of, I guess sort of what Clav was saying too, like by whatever means necessary.
Yeah, a lot of people overestimate their effort. I can look at, and because hard work means nothing without risk. So it's like one big like pursuit of more. You have to have as much risk as you do effort, and that's where a lot of people get the disconnect. I can admit that I Could have worked a lot harder. I probably shouldn't have taken more risk. I think I maxed out like the risk, but I could have worked a lot harder. But most people think that they deserve so much. They're way overestimate how much they're really putting in to what they're doing. Like Clav is trying to get double jaw surgery. Like that's giga risk autistic. And I think it's awesome. That's what it's all about. So I just preach to people, like, have an honest conversation in the mirror. Like, how much are you really putting in? Like, if you're still in college and you don't like it, or you still work a job that you don't like, I don't respect you because you haven't put in what you think you're putting in.
Yeah, that just goes back to the honesty with the self. Because a lot of people, 100%, and maybe that comes back to the mushroom thing that I would recommend to that my son, who's a loser in that theoretical situation, but it's being honest with yourself. Because I don't think people have that. I think that's like one of the harder abilities for majority of people, because of the sort of the social circumstances. A lot of people will get input from their friends or from their family about, you know, where they're at or what they're doing. It'd be, oh, it's great, you're doing good, you're going to college, you're learning to be an accountant. And it's like, but that person's never really honest with those people that, like, that's not at all what he actually wants to do. And even with themselves, what they really want to do. So I think it's like, how do you find, and I guess I asked you this question, how did you find the honesty about like where you really wanted to be?
There's a few people, like the person that taught me like the hard truth is the best truth is I looked up to David Goggins a lot. Like his whole story was like, my situation is super shitty, and he took it to the extreme of like really putting himself through the ringer. Like his effort was almost killed him on multiple occasions. He tried so much. And I have a huge bone to pick with, there's a lot of influencers that have been posting. Is one of them is he looks like you, but like a little more fluffy, like the Daddy Noel or something.
Yes, Noel.
Really great guy, really nice guy, but everybody likes views, and the easiest way, other than being the bad guy, to get the views is to poke at the soft spot of the mediocre, because mediocrity loves company, and they love a community of, oh, we're just doing good enough. So he just posted a video and went very viral, and a lot of other influencers are copying it, saying, congratulations. A lot of people are posting their accomplishments over the last year. They got a new job, they got a new cool car, but I'm proud of you for just surviving, you know, like sometimes you just need to survive a year, and that's good progress. But a year of no progress, you can have a week off, sure, and it's not bad. There is 0% chance that you made significant progress, or that you didn't make significant progress over a year if you were genuinely trying, just like, period. That's not impossible. And a lot of people blame their mental health for that. This is what I tell people. Your mental health is not an excuse, because you physically, scientifically cannot test for a chemical imbalance of your brain that is depression. Like depression is always like psychiatrist, you know, saying, oh, you're sad all the time, so you should take these meds because you're depressed. It's literally impossible to say your brain is fucked up, you should take these drugs because you're depressed. You're not depressed. You can be depressed, not because of your brain chemistry, but because of your situation, right? Because have you ever in your life felt genuinely depressed in a dream? You can feel sad in a dream if something bad happens, but in the dream world, it's the same brain chemistry. You're never depressed because you're living a life of no restrictions, very little, if any at all, thought for consequences. So that's why you also like die frequently in your dreams, is because you're so not worried about the consequences that sometimes you die. So you want to find the balance of like, be conscious of potential consequences, but you are guaranteed to at some point in your life feel depressed because of your situation. And that's when you need to work the hardest. That's not when you're surviving. That's when you need to work the hardest, because you need to better your situation in order to, you know, beat that depression. And I promise you, you can. I'm sure you've been depressed before, like actually like really, really, you hate life. I've been there. I'm almost positive every young male has been there before. It's just the few that diagnose their mental health as an inescapable wall that are those that are the least honest with themselves. So what I'm telling to the people is, how do you be honest with yourself? Is you listen to what I'm saying right now, is that if you haven't made progress the only reason is because you're not trying hard enough. That's like it. If you're not making progress, I'll tell you right now, you're not trying.
Okay. Two things. I think you can test for dopamine levels in the brain, which would be then related directly to like
depression. You can test like what your dopamine is at, but why is your dopamine low? Because of your situation. It's not, you can't have chronically low dopamine levels. Your dopamine gets shot. I probably have the most fucked up dopamine receptors of like anybody ever. If you did a test on my brain, I would probably clock as like way more depressed than anyone else because I f***ed my own dopamine. I did too many drugs and I gambled too many high stakes. Now I can't enjoy like this conversation. I'm like to a degree enjoying it. I can't enjoy almost like anything, but I've diagnosed the problem that I've fried my own dopamine. I'm not blaming the universe for having bad dopamine, you know?
I see what you're saying. So I'll sort of like mention the flip side of this conversation for I guess Noel's sake and for the sake of everyone else who's going to disagree or would like to just talk about it. But I think the idea when you talk about a year, I'm not so concerned with that, but I think it's more so the idea that if you're in a situation that feels inescapable, that feels like, you know, you're depressed and you're sad, the idea that you're just surviving and you did good that year, I don't think it's so much like you couldn't have done more. I think it's more like at least you're still here. And that's why I hear what you're saying. You're not wrong. I do believe that your ability to overcome depression, the thoughts of anxiety or thoughts of suicide, it is your ability. It is up to you no matter what, whether it's to fix your circumstances, to fix your hormones. Because I could speak directly to feeling depressed, and it wasn't even the feeling of I hate myself. It was I didn't feel anything. But this was also I did to myself because I had taken tests for so many years, and I was taking the same tests that I didn't realize at the time was not actually tests because it had expired. So for about probably 4 to 6 months, I was injecting testosterone that wasn't testosterone. And it was just olive oil at that point, right?
Yeah.
Or canola oil, whatever it was, cod, whatever it was brewed with. But my levels were so low because I went to get them checked finally because I had so much health anxiety. I let it go on for 6 months because I was afraid of testing this is like a whole story of mine, but I was afraid of getting my blood work done because I was like, I'm going to see how much damage I've done to my body. And it's that sort of like white collar anxiety where you're or blue, something you're afraid of figuring out what's wrong with you. And I was very afraid of figuring out what's wrong with me. And so for 6 months went on, I literally had, I think my test was like 14 and my estrogen was like
14.
Yeah. I did this and Haney Rombot actually, he got my test done and we did this. My test was 14. My estrogen was 340.
Holy, so you were more of a woman than a woman is.
Yes.
That's what? That's blowing my mind.
It was on paper and I was still doing Instagram videos. I was still making content. This was when I opened my gym in 2017. I was still pulling my truck because and so maybe I'm a little bit arguing against myself, but I was forcing myself to do those things because like that was like the peak of my popularity. I was like, I still have to do it.
That's exactly what I'm saying is your mental health was never an excuse for you. You have factual evidence that you were more depressed than probably, I don't care how sad anybody on the camera watching this is. Those numbers describe somebody that I can't believe you didn't yourself.
Well, I was thinking about it for like 6 months. I felt terrible,
but
I forced myself to do everything. The thing that I should have done sooner. So maybe I did argue against myself, but I guess the whole point I was trying to make outside of it was that just that I didn't sort of end my life in that circumstance. That was you did okay because you survived the year.
Well, you can say that after the fact because you did the right things, as in you went through the effort to get a coach, get your blood work, and you worked on your business. So you were actually making, from where you were to where you ended the year, it was insane progress. But most people say where I was, flatline, same, good job, I didn't die. But you didn't die and made incredible progress. Your experience is not what we're talking about. Saying.
I think if I'm just arguing for the sake of arguing this conversation is that I think it's just the idea that you didn't die is the most base, like, well, okay.
Then you're floating.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying, but it's like, well, you're still here. Now you can continue.
No, bro, because the second you let yourself be happy and accept a pat on the back for not dying, why are you just do it next year? Because that felt pretty good. I didn't die. Good job, Togi. I didn't die. Next year, you're just not gonna die.
I see your point. You're
and then you're just a speck.
But so you're talking about just accepting the year and saying that now this is just going to be my years forever. I don't think that necessarily what I didn't see the content, so I don't have the context, right? But I hear what you're saying. I think it's just more so, okay, you didn't die. Okay, now change it. Now don't just die again.
Yeah, but that's the biggest thing is not accepting what the mediocrity, because you're not a mediocre person. So you're immediately defaulting to the idea that I didn't die, but holy shit, it's great. I didn't die, but that was like the worst year ever because I made no progress. What these people are doing is they're saying it was a good job. They literally say, I'm proud of you. Good job for surviving the year. You should yourself because you just survived. Because what are we talking about here? You did nothing for a year and we're accepting a pat on the back. Like, you're referring to what you should do and be very, very upset, almost depressed. You should feel that would make me feel depressed. If I did nothing for a year, you feel depressed, you're very upset, no pat on the back. That was, and you can't do that one more year of your life or you're cooked.
Well, so then you're just talking about, because again, can you pull up this video so I could see it? So I'm just not speaking.
Oh yeah, it's on his TikTok. I actually didn't watch the whole thing. It irritated me so much. I watched the first 10 seconds.
This might be why it's funny.
No, but then Liv posted something and she was like, congratulations on surviving. I'm like, shut the fuck up. And I seen a couple of it.
There'll be a lot of posts soon from people sharing what they achieved in 2025.
Hold on. Pause it. Tell me first, before we continue, tell me right where you stopped the video. Do you remember where?
I'm about right here.
No.
I knew where it was going, bro.
No.
Okay, watch. Let's see if I was right in my diagnosis of where this is going.
Okay.
Traveled the world and found their own form.
No, this is actually where I stopped watching.
But just in case there's someone out there who needs to hear this, it's totally okay if the single thing that you did this year was survive it.
Shut the f up, bro. Get the f out of here with that video.
Okay. I do still believe, though, the point he was trying to make was you're still here, though, so you can continue. Because that is the idea. Just like I was still there and I was going through, I just continued. I did a lot of shit. I did tell you I did a lot of shit, but I did just continue. I think that's the only concept. If I'm arguing for him, it's like, well, I'm still here. I'm not saying that means now you go, okay, I'm just going to still be here every year after year, and that's it. I think it's like you're still here. Now you have the ability to change it. Are you going to change it? I think that's the implied part that you did.
Okay. I agree with that. I think, okay, wait, go back to his TikTok. And I don't dislike him by any means. I think you're right. It's good that you're alive. I love that. And I'm happy for you guys. And I would say now it's time to lock in as of right now.
Okay.
But I think I could have sworn I saw another one. I don't know what it is, but either way,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Idea.
I've seen another video too.
That was similar, yeah.
So your idea. I mean, I guess the thing you're talking about having beef with is just like the way people okay complacency.
Yeah. Or it's a big example of another, like we talked about before, like thinking you're doing more than you are. Like surviving is not good. That's actually probably the bottom of the barrel is surviving. And people place survival like so high up because the alternative, dying, is like to them so bad. But dying and surviving are in my head
the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I don't think there's anything wrong with that perspective at all. I mean, I think that's correct in a lot of cases, but sometimes you have to be able to survive to, you have to be able to survive to build.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's life. It's risky, and you have to. You can't just how do I want to say that? That's just like how it is. You have to be able to survive to build, but there's no point in surviving. That's like us being so stoked that there's a floor on the ground right now. Like I'm stoked that the ground physically exists. You know what I mean? But I'm not sitting there like, we're good, bro. Couches, like, we got a floor. We don't need nothing in this podcast room. You know what I mean? That might have not been the best example, but that's like kind of the idea is like, we got to stop talking about survival.
It's accepting the most basic sort of thing, which is just being alive.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you. So then what are the steps to be able to capture your mentality for these people? How do they do it? How do they capture that mentality?
Because it's super straightforward. If he did, why can't I? Because it's super clear. You can watch back the podcast that me and Bradley Martin did 1.5 years ago. I was not anywhere the person I was today. And then you can watch that podcast. Then you can go to my first TikToks and how I spoke, and I'm in the frat basement and I have nothing. I'm a grade A loser, not very intelligent, no money, like parents cut me off, all that. Why am I so special? I'm not. It's that I put myself in enough experiences and enough situations and took enough risk where I was able to grow. The only thing that's making you not grow is showing up to accounting every day if you don't like accounting. If you love accounting, then you're watering your flower. But everybody on behind a screen, it might not be they're good. They're not going to be incredible at like whatever, capturing attention or like speaking. Everyone is the best at least one thing. Like they're incredible. And you have to find that flower to water. A good example is you seen the movie Free Solo? The dude
that guy's insane.
Badass mother. I guarantee you he didn't start his career by saying, I'm going to become so rich and famous and successful because I'm going to climb this rock better than every other motherfucker that ever climbed a rock. He was like, I love climbing rocks and I'm really good at climbing rocks. Like I love it. I'm good at it. I'm going to water this flower. And he became so good at it that he made money. And a lot of people think, whatever, my interests, whatever. I couldn't imagine how you would make money off of knitting. I think it's super gay, whatever. But if you genuinely love knitting and you're incredible at knitting, water that flower and you will be a millionaire from whatever it is. Everybody's so good at least one thing, but they're too busy letting their professor say, you're not very smart because you just got a D on the accounting test. And you like whatever, or you failed. You're not great. It's like I tell people, you're made of gold, but gold's not useful when you're trying to build a hammer. You know what I mean? You're just not being utilized in the right place.
Yeah.
And when it's off. A lot of people say they like feel lost. I tell them this and they're like, yeah, but I don't know what I'm good at. Because every day you're doing something you definitely don't like. It takes time to find what you're good at. But if you're stuck doing definitely, I hate my job, but that's all of your energy, because you only have energy the first, like natural energy, like first 6 hours of the day. And you spend all of your productive energy doing something you definitely don't like, then you're not going to get to find that. So you have to the first step is just stop doing what you know you don't like, because you can feel it, you know what you don't like, and then just try things that you think you might like. And you try and you try and you try. And eventually you're going to find something that you love and you're great at, and you will be successful.
Yeah, bro. You didn't take Adderall today?
No, and this is why
You're cooking, bro.
I can speak much more clearly now that I stopped taking Adderall. And everyone in the comments is going to say, oh, Togi's on the cocaine again. Togi's on the Adderall again. But my mind, I can deliver my ideas, and I have so much better ideas when I hate that I was diagnosed with ADHD and they try and strip me of my superpower of being able to deliver my ideas in effective ways by giving me Adderall. You'll know when I'm on Adderall because I'm speaking slower, I'm stuttering, my ideas aren't as colorful, and I hate that I spent so long abusing Adderall just because they say this is going to be good for you, this is what you want.
Yeah.
Because that I would be nowhere in life if I like continuously took this drug. So it's interesting. Everybody on the camera always thinks I'm on drugs when I'm sober, and they think I'm sober when I'm on the drugs.
Yeah. Dude, well, to your point though, about basically you were speaking about opportunity cost, which is like, if you're investing your time, your effort into energy into this and not the thing you actually want, then you're never going to get the thing you actually want. And this happens in a lot of different things, like specifically with young men. I think this happens a lot with women too in dating. Like they put their effort and their energy into people that they shouldn't necessarily be doing that to or doing that with. And it takes so much of their energy away from, like we're talking, the things that actually improve your life and make your life better.
Yeah, the whole obsession with women, it's like a tricky balance, because you start, and most men need something to kickstart them, and usually it's a girl breaking your heart, and then you want to become more so that you can show all these whatever. But it's interesting, the most people that start a Fortune 500 company, I forget the exact stat, but it's like an overwhelming amount. The percentage is very high of somebody that changes the world, like Elon Musk level people. Most of them find that moment when they're over like 50 years old, once your sex drive goes to zero, once you're no longer super spending, I wish I spend almost no energy on women anymore, and I still wish I spent less, because people, the culture sets it up so that you're just like the coolest thing you do. And that's another low hanging fruit that's very easy to go viral on, is I used to just have women on my streams and I just talk to, I just get girls, whatever. Men love to see Clav go to the club and talk to girls, because that's like, again, the low hanging fruit, because the culture, it's so easy to relate to these men that don't have something they think they want, being confidence in talking to women. That, let me tell you, dude, how good, really, at the end of the day, in comparison to the other things in the world, I can think of so many things that are better than sex. And spending a day hanging out with a girl is literally like, I would probably, you're just as productive as doing heroin. Realistically, like, you watch cartoons, you have sex, but this is the trap, is that you feel like, because if you do heroin all day, everyone's gonna be like, but if you hang out with a girl, you get the dopamine hit from hanging out with the girl, you have sex, you have a few good laughs, and then you get to tell all your homies that you fucked the 10. You feel like you accomplished something. You accomplished quite literally as much as the heroin addict did, as in nothing. So that's what I preach to men, young men, which I wish I started doing earlier, is like, honestly, just like, stop talking to girls. And that's like, when I say that, people are like, what? Like, that doesn't make sense. It's awesome. I've had sex with like hundreds and hundreds of women, and 0% of it has brought me any amount of happiness. Like, the only amount of any happiness that I feel is like pursuing what I actually love.
Yeah, bro, you're on a heater today. That's like, that's so real. And I could even speak for my own perspective in that throughout my 20s, like, I did, like you said, a crazy numbers, and exactly the same sentiment. There was nothing from it that I was like, man, this was beneficial, or this was great, or this made my life better. It wasted my time. It wasted my energy. It took like, again, that opportunity cost for where I could be putting my energy to something that's actually good for me. At what point though, do you think, and maybe it's just not at this time in your life because you're young and you're completely focused on that. At what point do you think you shift and it is a good idea, or it could be a good opportunity, not just to go hit and a random 10, but to like have a good relationship?
Well, it just how does that relationship affect your career? So I would say, ideally, if the relationship is, because I had a girlfriend for a lot of my come up, but it was great because this girl, it was all about, like, I was so obsessed, and this is like somewhat of like what they'll say is like toxic, whatever. I was so obsessed with my career that if you're not actively acting as an employee to me, you can go. I don't give a about any of this. So she was, holding the camera, editing videos, like actively every day, like pretty much an employee. So at a young age, for me, it was acceptable in that situation because it was benefiting my career. But I would say generally, if the relationship isn't like that, and the only way you can get a relationship like that is prioritize you and your career so much higher than the women that you'll walk on any relationship, even if something very small is getting in the way of this. Or even if you're another thing that men don't see is like, if a girl's just nagging at you, like you are getting a little, like, maybe like she goes out to the club one night without you or something, you're gone. Not because I think you cheated on me or you're not faithful, because you're taking up space in my head. Now I have to think like, oh my God, now I got to keep track of my girlfriend. I'm not working about it because I have too many ideas to be focused on. So that's like the dynamic you just need to have with it. And that can work at any age. Or if you can't work in that dynamic, just like once you've found the success that like you're ready to actually have a family, then maybe see that. When you gonna have kids?
Soon, hopefully. I'm still working on it.
That's so crazy. That's gonna be so sick.
Yeah.
Me and your kid are gonna get into some crazy stuff, dude. Real young, I'm gonna teach them like all the dope stuff of life and get them,
it's
Togi
funny because
style.
like you're not it's interesting because to a lot of people, they would like to argue that you're like a bad role model, but I don't think you are.
Oh,
yeah, dude. I don't think
Brad.
you are. Like you actually are very thoughtful in all of your ideas, and they make sense. Like everything with the girl stuff. Obviously, like a girl would have to accept that their reality is that, and that sort of like the relationship you have with the person who's kind of like somewhat of employee, and because you're holding yourself to some high standard, such a high standard that if you can't do those things and this person is just getting in the way,
You know what's actually
that has to be that way.
this is funny. A really perfect example of something that people would assume, oh, Togi's a bad influence, is because I like hookers, right? And I like hookers for a reason, because when you are, say you don't have a girl, bro, say you don't have a girl, your sexual energy has to go somewhere, and you're either gonna watch porn and jack off, or you could waste a whole day hanging out with these women, wasting your time, or I could call a hooker and in 15 minutes bust my nut throughout the door. So in my life, I've literally spent over $500,000 on hookers. Best investment ever, because you know what that ROI means. And you're laughing because it's like, oh, it's funny, but you're like, wow, that makes an incredible amount of sense. And that's why it's like kind of comedic in sense. But I've thought about these things, and as far as my investment, 500,000 on hookers, I've made millions with those days saved, where I don't have to entertain the bull. I don't have to, like, let's go to a movie and this and that. So I'm just saying, there's things that people aren't willing to accept as a good idea or correct, because they don't look. They just tip of the iceberg. Hooker is probably bad. No, dude, they're awesome.
Wow. You just made a point for why prostitution, the oldest thing in the dude. Yeah, dude. It's funny because like I can't even really like I get it. I understand why you feel that way. I understand what you're saying. You're exactly right on it. It's like, dude, maybe that's why it's been around for thousands and thousands of years. Because you could put that energy somewhere, and then there's not all the other stuff that comes along with it. I get, like you said, just at what point in your life, or like I was asking, really, at what point in your life do you decide? And I guess that's when you feel like you've done somewhat of enough. And I guess the question I follow up for you is, do you think that day will ever really come though?
Well, it's once you're reallocating your, because it's boring, right? When you're first pursuing your career, you're so excited, you want more. Eventually, most people are going to be like, okay, I've done this so much. What's the next thing on my pursuit of happiness? That's more or less checked off. For a lot of people, it's kids. So now your priority, I want to step back 70% from my businesses because that was my everything. And now I'm just like kind of bored of it. I want to do my next pursuit of happiness. Now I just need 30% to take care of the family, make my money, and then I can focus fully on your family. So it's like, it's a natural, it's not something where you have to be stressed out and like, whoa, how am I going to allocate the time? It will just like happen. I believe. I'm 20. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I would imagine it happens very naturally.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong.
Well, feel about like your business empire. At what point do you ever see yourself like taking off the gas a little bit to pursue other things? Because you got to like, when's the last time you just like went on a vacation for 2 weeks or even a month just to like go try some new food and like go on whatever, like bucket list? Like, at what point you got to do that stuff?
I have not done it. Every time I've gone on vacation, it was for content.
Same. And that's where I'm at now, but that's okay because I'm pursuing it so hard. I'm not as successful as you. When do you see yourself letting off?
I guess when I have the family, to be honest. I think that's fair. It. Because like I also, and even when I have the family, like I also really enjoy this. I really enjoy making content. I enjoy podcasting. I enjoy opening the gyms. We're doing the one in Miami. I'm excited about it. I'm going to keep doing that. Probably even while I have kids. Obviously, I think my involvement in this stuff, the podcasting, I can't put anyone in this space to help me do it. With the gyms, obviously, I can put people in position to like help me expand it in a way that like I don't have to necessarily be 100% there. So then it's just about moving pieces around that can make sense. But I don't think I'll ever really stop.
I think when you have a family, though, it will be like all of a sudden, like your brain is going to be like, wow, not that you won't care about it, but it's like I like this is like 10% of my mental capacity. I'm like so obsessed with my kids. I'm so obsessed with like raising them and traveling with them and experiencing life with them. I think it will happen very naturally once you have kids, but I don't know. I would just guess.
No, I think you're right. I think I'm just also obsessed with the outward. Like I do actually really like helping people, and I'm not saying like I'm just directly helping people because I'm having a podcast conversation with you, but I think there's moments like I know throughout this whole podcast, there's for sure a bunch of moments. I know you joke and you make a lot of like lighthearted sort of conversation, but you said a lot of things that are really, I genuinely believe are really impactful for young men. And like, I like even just facilitating that. And I don't think for some reason I really do want children because I want to be able to teach those things directly to them. But at the same time, I also have this this like outward sense of giving to the rest of the world that I also really enjoy.
You know what you should do is you should write a book. That's like
to.
that's like the next level because you've been doing the content forever. That's like the next level. It's like,
Yeah.
what do they call it? The Nobel Prize?
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
That'd be
And you
sick.
have like plenty of to write a book about. At this point, you could write 5 books, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I have been working on, I do like a bunch of voice notes because I know that like, I know I won't actually write it myself, have someone like annotate it and like go through it. So I have been sort of working on that. It's just like, that's a slow work in progress.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, man, I like helping people. And I think I know majority of my success after talking to people in person and having conversations or seeing things online and DMs, a lot of my success is because of me speaking, me sharing, me giving like parts of my life to the world. And even now in this situation, it's not even really me directly other than what I'm saying here, but you are doing that in a way with me for your own audience and for my
100%.
audience. And I just enjoy that. I enjoy that, like, to actually make someone feel like they can do what they want to do. Because that's all we really spoke about. Like you've taken a very extreme, which is kind of what's necessary in today's age, which is kind of what we talked about in regards to social media and all this stuff. You took the most extreme way of like looking at it and it's worked for you. I'm proud of you, man. That's why I want to do this pod again. Cause I remember you came to my gym, you were filming a video and you were like, yo, I got off all this stuff. And that's when I was like, oh, I want to talk to him about like what's changed. And it's very apparent that like a lot has changed. And now you're just like a doper, smarter, better version of yourself.
Thank you. I really do feel like I've made progress since that the last time we had a podcast. So I appreciate that a lot.
I see it, man. I'm proud of you.
Dope, dude.
I'm really proud of you, dude. You're awesome and you're crazy, but it makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
Dude, you cook, bro.
Yeah, 145. No, yeah, I'm
you
good.
Cooked, bro. Like I can't. Like there were so many things I was like, oh, I would have said the same exact thing.
Word, dude. I'm glad. I think it went like really well. I'm really glad that you called me to do this because I would have left LA pissed that how the Santa Cruz podcast was because I couldn't talk, bro.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers, I don't even know them. It's like 4 people on podcasts is like way too many. If there's gonna be somebody like trying to explain ideas the way that I was trying to do it. So I'm really glad you called me. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, you crushed it, man. More success to you.
Thank you so much.
I really look forward to seeing what you're able to build. I mean, I know you're working on, I think, a supplement company.
Yeah, supplement,
clothing company,
clothes, and casino are the like 3 main ones. And then I started a charity, which doesn't make me money, but now it's like a legal charity, and where the goal is to do like entertaining like charity. So when I have my own casino, the goal is to have people that are sponsored by the casino every time they max win. Half of that money
cancer. I saw that
gets donated to kids with cancer. It'll be super cool.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing it. Yeah. And anytime you ever need me, I know you said you wanted to film a video.
Oh yeah. I'll text you and Steve about that because I have like a really awesome bit. For us to film.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you again. Everyone subscribe to the channel every Tuesday at 11 o'clock. You guys already know Togi. Show some love. That's why you're here. Support him in everything. You're dope, bro. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me, Brad.
Cool. We're out of here. Love you guys.
Cheers.